If climbing in the Olympics demonstrated anything, it's how random the combined format can be. While the women's field went pretty much exactly how we all expected, the men's was all over the place. Alex missing the finals, Tomoa slipping on lead, and the top three being completely different than anyone would have thought. Going into 2024, it's hard to tell if the randomness will be dialed down or even worse. The IOC has said they're ditching the 3-event format and creating 2 medals, one for speed and one for bouldering and lead combined. I don't know why they don't just crown 3 gold medalists, but whatever. On one hand, this can make things easier to predict as it takes out some of the randomness of the speed. On the other, the climbing field is full of young, exciting names, and we have no idea what the sport will look like in 3 years' time. With that in mind, I thought it would be fun to look forward and try to predict what the results will look like in 2024. And these are my way too early Paris predictions. What's up guys, welcome to today's video. Now, before I get into this, I want to give a quick disclaimer that I know it's way too early to be doing predictions, and the odds are that most of mine will not come true. So, if you accept that this is all in good fun, I give you all permission to throw this video in my face in 3 years when I turn out to be horribly wrong. With that said, let's get into the first prediction. Colin Duffy will be a medal favorite. Colin Duffy had a breakout performance in 2021, and all signs point to the youngster getting even better. He's been raised on plastic and is super comfortable on indoor routes. He's strong, dynamic, and has really good reading ability. I was tempted to make this same prediction about Nathaniel Coleman, and I do think the reigning silver medalist could very well be one of the best climbers in the world when Paris rolls around. Duffy is younger though, and to me he might have a higher ceiling, so he gets the wave for this one. Number 2, Laura Rigora will be a top 5 boulderer. With speed out of the way and 3 years to refine her bouldering game, Rigora should be on everyone's shortlist heading into Paris. Her lead acumen more than speaks for itself, and with more World Cup experience, I think she'll be about tied with Cheyan for the best leader when 2024 rolls around. Bouldering though is where Rigora has the most room to grow, and she's shown some flashes of brilliance in this area. She's a youth world champion, and she has the finger strength to hold her own on indoor routes. Her dynamism so far is what really holds her back, along with her height. Obviously, she can't grow, but I could see her developing a little more explosiveness to help with moves like this. Even if she doesn't, I think more laps on the indoor walls will help her route reading and creativity, which may negate her lack of raw power and lead to her being a force on the bouldering scene. Number 3, Se Cheyan and Natalia Grossman will win their individual events, but Yanya will still win gold. Now, is this prediction a little intricate? Maybe. Have I jumped on the Natalia hype train a little early? Perhaps. Will I look smart if it comes right? Absolutely. In all seriousness though, I could see this happening. Cheyan looked incredibly dominant in Moscow, and head-to-head against Yanya, I actually tend to favor her on the lead wall. With 3 more years of training, she's going to be absolutely lethal with her combination of length, efficiency, and endurance. Much the same, Natalia Grossman had an incredible season in 2021, and I think there's a good chance she'll hold her position as one of the best boulders in the world going forwards. You can say whatever you want about Myrigan or how soft the field was at Moscow, but the fact remains that Natalia has a unique combination of power, delicacy, and beautiful route reading that leads to her being a serious force on the bouldering circuit. With that being said though, the name to beat in women's climbing is still Yanya Garnbret. She could easily finish second in both events and take the gold. In fact, I wouldn't put it past her to do a clean sweep of all of them. Like I said in my last video, her size, explosiveness, and confidence are utterly unmatched, and as crazy as it sounds, she's only getting better. I don't think we've even seen her peak yet, and you'll have to show me more than a few good competitions from young up-and-comers before I'm ready to remove Yanya as the favorite in the women's event. Number 4, Adam will win gold and Tomoa won't medal. Now, it's safe to say that Adam had a disappointing 2021 performance, and you should check out my Patreon if you want to see a full breakdown on how that happened. With that being said though, he remains the best climber in the world by a long shot, and from what I can tell, he wants the gold in Paris. With speed climbing out of the equation, and hopefully without some of the nerves that seem to be plaguing him, I fully expect Andra to bring his best in Paris, and Andra at his best is still unmatched. Tomoa not medaling isn't meant to be an insult to him. I still think he's the best boulderer of our generation, and he has a completely unique and really fun style. With that being said though, the next generation of boulderers is starting to catch up to him, and he's not quite as dominant as he used to be. He had a somewhat lackluster 2021 season, and we actually saw him come up short on routes where I would normally expect him to thrive. His lead climbing just isn't strong enough to fill the gap, and with 3 years for everyone else to improve, I think Tomoa has a tough path to the podium in 2024. Number 5, a climber we haven't heard of will medal. Now, maybe this just means I'm not as up to date with climbing news as I should be, but it seems that promising youngsters are popping onto the scene all the time. With 2.5 years to go until Paris, and the weird seasons these past 2 years meaning we probably haven't seen as many youngsters as we normally would, I think it's likely that someone is going to come out of the woodwork and surprise us all with their 2024 performance, and after seeing how great it was for the young talent to really show their stuff at Tokyo, I'm super excited for a dark horse to make some waves in the upcoming competitions. Now, my 6th and final prediction. There will be a crack in the final. That's right, ladies and gents, crack is back. We've seen an infusion of crack-based competition routes in the last couple years, including one in the Olympic qualifiers, and I think this trend is only going to keep growing. Crack routes allow for a huge variety of fun, unique, and absolutely wacky problems to be set that I think will start to gain more widespread adoption. With 2 of the greatest crack climbers of all time pushing their agenda and making some of the best videos on YouTube, I think that the Olympic final will feature a crack after a couple more years of this type of climbing infusing itself in the circuit. I don't know exactly what the format will be, but I think we'll see a crack climb truly integrated into the Olympic final climbing route, and I'm going to love watching it. Alright guys, those are my way too early predictions for 2024. Like I said, please don't take this video too seriously, it's all in good fun, and I know there's a chance I go 0 for 6 on these when the event actually rolls around. With that being said, let me know in a comment below what your predictions are for Paris 2024, I'm excited to hear them. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you next time.